Collie have been superb today, and I think the part about Collie, it's been achieved with a very even team effort. We were talking about the Pike medal, and really I suppose you could pick out any one of about 4 names, and they certainly would be worthy recipients, and it's going to be a very hard job. We've got to fill in one of the cards here, and I'll be very interested to see which way it comes out, because I'd say any one of 4 would be vying for at the moment, and a big last quarter by any number of players could see them go home with the 87 Pike medal.
Yes, and it's going to be very, very interesting. The bounce down for the final turn of the 87 grand finalist. Bruce Jackson hits it down into the red flap direction. Off they go again, up the centre half forward, gutted by Darren O'Brien. He fires on goal from 50 metres and bang, right through the centre. Well, they're not letting up, and it was very, very interesting. I watched Coach Michael Murray at his three-quarter time address to the players, and you would have sworn that Collie were about 5 or 6 goals down, because he really was getting stuck into them. He realised that, or probably reminded his players that they've been in the position that South have been in this afternoon, and he's going to really rub it in if he can. But that was a great goal off the boot of Darren O'Brien. Covered about 50-odd metres against the breeze, and that's 16 goals 12. Collie leads South Bunbury 4 goals 10, and away they go again, the Saints. Off the boot of Slater, up the centre half forward. Cale in the front position in front of Massara. He goes to the deck, scoops it out of the pack. This allows Fraser onto the ball, endeavours to get it back to Ian Cale. Coming in as easy as you like was Murray, Darren O'Brien. He lines up once again. I think he's just clipped the post. Minor score the result, 16-13. Collie leads South Bunbury 4 goals 10.
Starting to stake a claim, Ray, I think. He's certainly been oozing class in everything he's done today, and he started brilliantly. The first goal he got was classic left-footer stuff as he weaved around the pack and threaded it from about 45 metres as Upson kicks the ball into the centre of the ground, and Johnny Sofield's taken the mark. He's got the overlap here from Darren Murray as he runs into the centre of the ground, then drives towards Desi Downs at half forward, but Clinton Pike over the top. A disciplined punch away by Pike. Handball by Huddle in the direction of Platts, and he fires on goal from about 60 metres out. This is going to be very close, but it's away to the left. And the Tigers, needing goals, are getting points. 4-11 plays, 16-13. We're in the 87 grand final, about 3 minutes in, and the Saints certainly only now have to go through the motions of playing the game out, although I'm sure their supporters would delight in another 4 or 5 goals as Gerard Graham puts the ball into play, kicks out in the direction of Brendan Redslap, and he's been consistently solid and good today, this lad, as he has 1-2 bounces, waits for the oncoming traffic and then kicks down towards Massara, but Ian Massara was running away from the player with the ball, and Ian Cale moved up the ground and took the easiest of marks. He cuts infield, goes on the left foot in the direction of Watson, I think it is over there. He drops the easy marks. No, it looks like Jones is down in attack now as he handballs in the direction of Bennell. Bennell kicks to the point of the square, but I'll tell you what, there's 3 Saints there, no Tigers, and Clinton Pike took a very clever mark running back with the flight of the ball, and he's got Luke Ware, another player who could nail home the points in the Pike medal, because he's had a great day. He's been good all for the 3.5 quarters so far, as Markwell has had a very good duel with Greg O'Brien, has been forced to the ground, and Markwell will take the free hand pass. No, he's played on in front of the mark. You can't do that, says umpire Chris Saborn, and young Markwell will come back behind the man on his mark and take the free kick. Derek Markwell, 16 years of age, and he spears the ball in towards Platts, and Platts would probably be one of the Tigers' best players today. Very good at centre half back, and he's tried hard at centre half forward. He kicks out in the direction of Hodel, and Hodel up in front takes the mark, and he'll be 45 metres out from goals. Peter Hodel, captain coach of the Tigers, probably not one of his best games today. Des McNeil tipped in to win the Pike medal. Well, I can give you the tip, Desi. No hope, son. There's Hodel. Shoots on goal, and that one is straight through the middle, I guess, from here. Yes, and Peter Hodel's got a much needed one of the Tigers. Yeah, 5-10, that makes them 40, I think. Leading, Collie leading them 16-13.
I'm gonna take you out of hatchback breakthrough.
Test drive the new Nissan Pulsar Superstar at Bunbury Nissan, DL 4491, Sandridge Road, Bunbury.
The match of the day is proudly brought to you by Bunbury Nissan on Golden West Radio.
Well, the Tigers would need to score another goal, because the lowest score in a grand final is 6 goals 8. So if they can get another one, at least they won't put their name in the record books to that little lot. And it was, I think it's Donnybrook that has that honour. So they would need to score another one as the bounce down to take place in the centre. It's Steele and Jackson to do battle. As it's Steele gets it down, came down rather hard too. In goes Hoddle, can't get at the ball. In there goes Markle as he lays it off into the Darren Murray direction, into that full forward position. Back of the pack is Dan. It was a little bit too strong for him. Graham is back there. He'll mop up for the Saints. Goes for the short distance pass onto Dan. I'll tell you what, there's another quietly effective player for Collie and David Hollands. Up onto that wing position it goes. Racing in to get the gut of the ball there was Massara and Craig Watson. Between them they force it over the line right in front of our broadcast position, and the boundary throw-in to take place. Boundary throw-in as it's Steele and Jackson to do battle. As Steele gets it down, Hoddle's there, beautifully gets the hand pass through to Bennell. He goes infield, trying to gather Anderson. He does so. Spills the dummy to, well, where's he kicked that? To no one in particular. This'll do me, says the player in Graham, was it? Or Hollands. As they put it into the Jackson direction. Jackson short kick, beautiful into the centre, right by the centre circle. Redslap is there, has got Alan Michael loose out on that half-forward line. That's the way the kick goes. Michael up into the air to favour Ian Massara. They're doing as they like at the moment as all the sting's gone out of the Tigers. As there goes the high kick to Massara, up to that full forward area. Kenny Hayward in front of the pack, untroubled to take the mark, only about 15 metres out, virtually directly in front. Has kicked 4 goals. Doing the summary at three-quarter time, I said 3, but he's got 4. This will be his 5th as he steers it through. What's he done with it? He steered it through. He steered it through. So the Saints move to 17 goals 13 on that FAI car owners mutual scoreboard, and they lead South Bunbury 5 goals 10.
That margin's getting wider and wider.
That's all he can say.
You're very observant. Very observant. I'm shell-shocked. Shell-shocked. Des, you were telling us all sorts of stories. This time last week you were sitting here with your mouth wide open, shaking your head when we suggested that the Collie may just get up and win, but then again I didn't expect the margin to be this great. But nonetheless, still a few minutes to go, and the Tigers can get above that 6 goals 8 that Ray spoke about. I don't think they'd like that honour. As up goes Steele, gets the bounce down, taken by Troy Shepherd as he hands it out in the direction of Redslap, and by gee, this kid's good as he's leaked, but gets a bit of a kick away. It's picked up by Mooney O'Brien out to Darren O'Brien, and I'll tell you what, this lad oozes class. He's waiting for a lead here. Nobody wants to go for him, so now he spears the ball in the lead of Jeff Davidson, who's been very quiet. Yes, free kick push in the back he's paid there, and Baden Young... No, he paid the mark.
Paid the mark.
Well, yes, he did, but then he ran the other way. I thought it was a clear mark. He did sort of nudge him under the ball a little bit, but he sort of indicated the mark and then ran back the other way. So he confused everybody, including I. The kick's taken there by South Bunbury, kicked in towards Hares. It appears to be playing in defence now as the ball spills down towards half forward. South Bunbury to get the free kick there, and it'll go the way of
Greg Jones.
Greg Jones. He's been switched down to the forward line, so that's obviously why Hares is in a back pocket playing on Davidson. And South here would need this goal to get above that lowly record of 6 goals 8. They're 5-10 at the moment, trailing the Saints 17-13. Greg Jones, I wonder will he kick like a defender, Lofty?
No. Kick like a forward.
Well, he has too, and he's put it through, so the Tigers move to 6 goals 10, trailing the Saints 17-13.
Yes, Greg Jones, his goal, naturally enough, he spent most of the time at fullback, so...
That's no excuse, Ray.
South haven't got their name in the record book, so that'll be one thing, I suppose, that they'll be thankful for. But it's been all Collie out here this afternoon, and my word, what a tremendous team effort it's been. The ball being relayed back to the centre, 6-10-46, Collie 17, the boys are in front there, can't see what 17-14 I think it is, 17-13, something like that anyway, as the bounce down to take place. It's Steele and Jackson. Steele is interfered with there, in goes Pios, Hoddle runs into him, forced to kick in a hurry, only he goes about 15 metres into where Shepherd gathers it. His kick cannons off a South Bunbury player, back he goes in with O'Brien. O'Brien's kick towards that centre wing position, closing on the ball was McGinley, back on the ground for the Tigers. Didn't see him slip out there, and right in front of our broadcast position, the boundary throw-in to take place. Well, young Rod Steele's done a very, very good job here for the Tigers, but the Rovers have let them down this afternoon. Steele gets in the front position, gets the big thump about 15 metres further afield. In comes McDonald, he's tackled, drops the ball, has the hip and shoulder, into the back of Anderson goes a player, as it's over the line, out of bounds, once again in front of our broadcast position, and the boundary throw-in to take place. Anderson wearily getting up off the turf as Steele will do battle once again with Jackson. Jackson in the front position. Your son got in his eyes. Hoddle trying to burst through the pack, can't do so. In there goes McDonald. Crumb's still to where Hollands is in best position to gather and does so. Lays it off once again to the Collie defence where it's out of bounds on the full. They're all in front of us, our broadcast position here at the moment, and it's going to be Derek Markle to put the ball back into play for the Tigers.
That'd be about the first mistake Collier made all day, Ray, putting it out on the full.
Just about, as there goes the Markle kick, looking for Platts. He's up into about the centre position now, gathers the football, has time to turn around, then props and does a little up and over kick, and the mark has been taken on the edge of the square by Steele. He's off, tackled from behind by Shepherd, shocking kick from Steele, broken up in defence once again there by Graham, but the kick's astray. In chips Craig Watson for the Tigers, lines up from about 45 metres out. He's away to the left-hand side. The minor scored a result. So it's South moved to 6 goals 11, trailing the Saints 17 goals 13.
Very quiet up on the hill. Very quiet in the press box too. Des, we've heard nothing for him. There's a hell of a yikon over the other side there. All of a sudden all hell's broken loose and, well, I don't know what that's all over. But
there was a stand came down there, I think, trying to say, oh my word, it's there is quite a little bit of what's going on over there, and where are the boys in blue? They'll be there very shortly.
I'll just put the binoculars on. Well, if I was them, I wouldn't be over there. I'll give you the tip, but back to the action as Pios endeavours to get over. It's pretty hard to concentrate on two lots here. Anyway, the boys in the middle are doing the right thing, playing football as Pios. Handballs right forward in the direction of Hoddle, and he'll crash his way through here and try and do something to the Tigers as he gets onto that left foot, puts the ball in towards the centre of the ground, is taken by Jackson. Jackson long hands out in the direction of the Mucky. McDonald away from half back as he kicks out in the direction of Ian Michael, and Ian Michael has taken the mark. Half back flank for Collie, and he's been another very good player for the Saints today as he decides into the centre of the ground's a place to go, and Neil Jackson accommodates him and takes the mark. Neil Jackson, very good at centre half back today. He's probably been one of the better duels when Dan Platts has moved down there. They've both had their moments as the ball's kicked in towards half forward. Up goes the youngster in Derek Markle, and he certainly hasn't been the worst of the Tigers as he kicks out in the direction of Pios. Pios will look for the overlap here, but he kicks out in the direction of the player there in Danny Platts. And Danny Platts has taken the mark, and he'd be 65 metres out from goal as that angry pack under the scoreboard continues to mill. Can you make anything of it?
There's a few white caps moving in there very shortly.
Oh, I didn't know the ocean was this close. As the mark is taken by... Hey?
They'll sort it out.
As the mark is taken at centre half forward by Greg Jones, he'd be 40 metres out from goal, and Des McNeil, you'd think he was calling the Melbourne Cup. He's got his eyes trained on the starters. Actually, they're moving into line there. The Greys are coming in to take a position over there, and that'll certainly scatter the crowd if those horses get in there. Greg Jones shoots on goal from the Tigers, follows through, and he's a little bit away to the left-eyed thrust. Yes, he is. And the Tigers can do no right as they move to 6 goals 11, trailing the Saints 17 goals. Sit down, young fellow, on the scoreboard. 17-13. Thank you, Ray. You're very efficient.
6-10 to 17-13 as it's out of defence come the Saints as they lay it off into the direction of Hollands. The short pass from Graham. He goes for the big kick onto that half-back line, and the mark has been taken out there by Neil Jackson. Come back, says umpire Nettleton, as Jackson now swings it out onto that right centre wing for the Saints. It's 2 against 1. In the front position there was Greg O'Brien, and he has been awarded the mark. Right centre wing for Collie. As we're waiting now on Greg O'Brien as the props goes in, and now we'll see the kick from O'Brien up onto that half-forward line. In the front position there was Davidson, thumped away in defence by Hares, only as far as Darren O'Brien. Up the centre half-forward, back of the pack is Slater. He gutters it, lines up from 30 metres out. He had a bad bounce with the player in Baden Young. It's gutted by Kenny Hayward. He's kicked right across the face of goal, out of bounds on the full, and the kick to be taken back into play by Fraser. There he goes, short distance pass. The lead accommodated there by Pios. He takes the mark, immediately goes on with it. Onto the centre wing, Hoddle in front of McElroy on that occasion. Up comes McElroy, puts the clampers around Hoddle to stop him from going on with the business. Hoddle gone straight across the ground into the direction of Upson. He's in the centre. There goes the big kick from Upson. Back of the pack, the players set themselves. No mark is taken. There's going to be a free kick, and it'll go the way of Ian Bedell. And he is about 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Well, the Tigers are dying hard. I don't think that, well, there wouldn't be any urgency for the Saints. They know that they've got this one well and truly wrapped up, and they'd be cantering at the moment.
Dying hard, Ray. I think it's hard to die any time.
Yes, there goes the kick from Burnell as he made the distance. He has, but he hasn't got the direction. It's away to the right-hand side. And another minor score on the board to South Bunbury. They move to 6 goals 11, I think it is. The boys a little bit slow to get it up onto the board. That's 17 goals 13 Collie as it's out of bounds and it's on the full, not touched. So Glenn McGinley from South Bunbury will put this ball back into play. Drifting into the open spaces 50 metres out is Vic Pios. He's taken the mark. Kicked it deep into that full forward area where it's gone through, forced for the minor score once again, and the boys on the board still haven't got the score up. I think it's about 6 goals 13.
6-14 I think it'll be right now.
6-14, that's 6 goals 12, we were both wrong. 6 goals 12 South Bunbury, trailing Collie 17 goals 13. Out they come, through Hollands, up onto the half-back line where it's Hetherington has taken the mark. He lays it off by hand to Ware up to where Neil Jackson all failed to take the mark. Bursting through the pack there was Platts. He goes in short onto that half-forward line where the mark has been taken by Derek Markwell, 45 metres out on a 55-degree angle. Derek Markwell. As all the players run back into that goal square, there goes the Markwell kick. Has he got the distance? Yes, he has at the last moment. It's forced through for the minor score once again. So it's 6 goals 13. South Bunbury trail Collie 17 goals 13. That's what, 11 goals the margin, 66 points in favour of the Saints. Is out onto that 50-metre line. The mark has been taken by Ware, has got Hollands loose at centre half back. That's, he goes inboard to that player. He can lay it off by hand to any number of players. He chooses Clinton Pike. He's got a paddock to run in out there and puts the big kick up over that centre wing position. Players up and the mark has been paid on the far side of the ground to Alan Michael. Immediately, a short distance pass, finds Ware. Running past him was Jackson. He says, I'm going to kick a goal here. The centre half back now. He's caught. He's going to be struggling, right? Yes, he's given away the kick and the free kick to go the way of the player in Sofield. Immediately gives it by hand to Platts. Platts can go for the short pass looking for Jones. Has the ball thumped away from him by Graham, or a player in Burnell has had a dirty day. Goes back in, is able to gather, screws it over the shoulder. Markwell in the goal square, he can't gather it. Hoddle does over the shoulder. I don't think he's brought it around far enough. He hasn't. It's the minor score once again. 6 goals 14 South Bunbury. Trail Collie 17 goals 13.
Okay, I guess there's probably 6 or 7 minutes left in this 87 grand final. As we sent the runner in to find out what the score is. Clinton Pike kicks out towards, or 11 minutes to go. We've been informed in the direction of one Mucky McDonald, and he takes the mark. Casual as you like, kicks out in the direction of Alan Michael, and he's taken the mark on the left centre wing for the Saints. He spears the kick out in the direction of the running Ian Massara. He's taken the mark.
Paul Hetherington?
No, it's Paul Hetherington. You're right there. We're getting a little bit jaded as the callers go on and the day wears on. We make a few blues. Anyway, that was in the direction of Massara. I got it right in the finish, but Ian Carl dispossesses him. But here's that little classy little player, Darren O'Brien, but he kicked into the man and he's marked in and didn't get a result. But spills out in the direction of the player over there in Michael Hill, who's come onto the ground, but he's taken on over in that direction there by Pios, and the ball is on the ground there, and the umpire's call for a bounce down, and it's on the left half forward flank for the Saints, about 75 metres around from goals, and the crowd's quiet and the cars are filtering out of the ground, so I think everyone concedes that this is going to be a very easy victory of the Saints. And
fracas has died down, Gary.
Yes, the Whitecaps have left too, Ray. I'm glad that was getting a bit too close to the ocean to be this far inland, as the kick goes in the direction of Michael again, and he kicks another one in towards... No, he doesn't. It's out of bounds. No, it's not. Well, I'll get it right in a minute as Bade Young picks up the handball. Yeah, well, you blokes are making me laugh. It's a bit hard to talk and laugh. But still, we'll try. Regardless, it's out of bounds, left half forward for the Saints. And they're quite content to just see the ball up there into the ground, and they can count down the minutes. There's about 10 minutes to go, and I'm sure those players will be very aware of how long there is to go, as South get in each other's road as they've done for most of the day, as Carl picks up, kicks out towards half forward, and Vic Pios is going out after that one, but he's a very slow conveyance at the moment. You wouldn't want to back him, and Darren O'Brien forces him over the line and out of bounds.
So it's out of bounds on that left half forward film, nearly between half forward and centre wing position, and a Collie trainer walking past has got a grin on his face like a dog looking at a butcher.
Mr. DeAngelis is the name, Ray.
As it's out to South Bunbury, haven't given up, as it's Cale now gathers it, puts it onto that half forward line. Coming up there was Hoddle. He can't gather the ball. He's got 2 to beat. That's been the story all day as McDonald goes by hand to Massara. as his long hand pass finds Michael, gets around an opponent as easy as you like. Up to half forward they go, setting himself there was Slater, has the ball thumped away at the last moment. Out comes Waldrop, paddles it through the pack. Here's an opportunity now for South to clear as down goes Slater behind play. As it's Hares that puts the ball up the half forward. The ball slips through the hands of Jeff Hares on that, not Jeff Hares, Greg Jones. It's easily gutted by Graham. By hand to Retzlaff he goes, up onto that half forward line. Alan Michael, beautiful ball control, around onto the left boot, into the Massara direction. Oh, he gets an unkind bounce. This will allow Hoddle in. He goes for the short distance pass further to the field. The mark now taken by Cale as the Tigers rebound. There goes the Cale kick into that centre, gutted by Pios. Cale coming down has followed his own kick as it's Pios. Cale goes for the short distance pass to Markwell. He can't control the ball. He's got the support from Platts. Platts has kicked deep into that left full forward pocket. Out he comes again. Jared Graham. Oh, he's mucked that one up. Out of bounds on the full. Tell you what, no criticism whatsoever because that would be the first mistake he's made all afternoon. And the kick to be taken back into play by Ian Burnell. Burnell gets around his opponent and Clinton Pike to buy himself a little bit of room. There goes a kick from Burnell. It's I think he might have snuck that one through. He has. So there's a belated goal from the Tigers off the boot of Ian Burnell. They move on that FAI Car Owners Mutual scoreboard to 7 goals 13 and they trail Collie 17-13.
Belated goal.
Belated, that's all he can say.
He doesn't really want to say a great deal at this stage, Ray.
No, he doesn't. He's still shell shocked.
You had to shake him then to get him to say something. I thought you were waiting to put the 20 cents in.
As a matter of fact, I think he was down the beach. He was miles away. We've had the white caps there. He's followed it down. Back into the centre now is umpire Sayborn to bounce the ball in the dying moments, and my word, has this crowd thinned out and they're still streaming out of the ground as the ball hits the deck. Jackson gets the big thump, but it'll be taken away by Murray as he weaves his way through the pack, gets the kick onto that half forward line. Anderson, or Burnell it was, nudged out by Holland, still nearly was able to take the mark as Jackson comes in to assist. Hoddle's there, gets Jackson out of it, he's holding the back, in goes Massara, he shrugs the tackle from McGinley and out he goes, as there goes the kick from Massara onto their half forward line. In the front position was Jared Graham. What's he doing up there? As it's gone to Hetherington, umpire Nettleton in the way as Hetherington fires it into Hayward, thumped away in defence at the last moment as Upson's there, paddles it through to the player in holding the ball. It was Jones, or Hares it was, and it'll be the free kick to go the way of the Collie player in Troy Shepherd. Shepherd it was that will have the opportunity to fire on goal for number 18 for the Saints. Not a great deal of action up there now as they become very, very weary indeed. As Shepherd lines up as he scored 1 goal so far this afternoon. There goes the kick from Shepherd, well and truly off the boot. As it's out of bounds on the full, is it? No, it must have bounced. Or is it out of bounds on the full? I think it is. The South Bunbury player to gutter it. Jeff Hares will put this ball back into play.
Ball goes out in the direction of Ricky Fraser and he comes off his defensive zone, kicks into the centre of the ground. Up in front is Curly Watson and he takes a pretty good mark in front under a heap of pressure there from Greg O'Brien. By hand to Carl, but he ran into the oncoming traffic and as a result he's forced off the kick and gets about a 10-metre kick. Fraser on the overlap again. Pretty good play by that player. He gets it to Platts. Platts by hand to Hoddle. He's got nothing, so he dummies one way, then the other, and then spears the kick in towards full forward. It's pretty hard to take a mark like that, Sophie, and he recovers well enough. Runs back onto the ball, shoots in towards an open goal, and he's drilled it through for a point to the Tigers. So they move to 7-14, trailing the Saints 17-13, and that's a pretty big margin. Des and that comeback of all times will have to start pretty quick.
Some pretty tired players out there, mate, and what a tremendous finish to a great season of football.
That's all you're going to say.
So that's all you're going to get out of there, present sport?
Well, I thought you were going to say it'll start eventually, but it'll want to hurry up. I'm just saying it's pretty hard to kick about, what do we need, 10 goals in about 8 minutes. I don't think it can be done.
7 goals, 14, South Bunbury, 17-13, 5 to go. Is it 5 to go, we've been told, as it's on that half-forward flank for the Tigers on the Regional Hospital side of Hands Oval, and the boundary throw-in to take place. As they hold a sign up there that says the Mighty Saints. Well, they've been mighty this afternoon, no two ways about that. As out of the pack they come once again. Onto that centre wing position, back of the pack was Darren O'Brien and took a very, very clever mark indeed. He's got Massara loose into the centre. He's best on ground for mine. As Massara now gathers up over that half-forward line for the Saints. He goes, ooh, there's a collision there as coming down with strength was Hares. He couldn't gather it. Back of the pack is Upson. He cuts back through the traffic now, gets the kick into the centre. Up onto the break there was Pios, takes the mark, immediately goes on with it. Onto the half-forward line for South Bunbury, drifting across in front of his marksman there, and McElroy was Peter Hoddle, the captain coach of the Tigers, and he's taken the easy chest mark 40 metres out directly in front. Well, it's all academic now. I suppose a little bit of personal pride to see if they can get a few more on the board. As there goes the kick, I think he's allowed a little bit too much for the breeze. He has done. Minor score the result, so it's 7 goals 15 South Bunbury. Trail Collie 17 goals 13 on that FAI Car Owners Mutual scoreboard.
Bit of an anti-climax now, Ray. Yeah. The Saints would like the siren to go on so they can enjoy it a bit, because they've had the game won for, I guess, the last, just after half-time they really wrapped the match up, and since then it's just been a procession, and they really would like now to get on with the business end of celebrating. As Michael Hill dummies one way and then goes, the other comes infield, kicks the ball in the direction of Massara, but Anderson's in front of him and he dashes away. Kicks towards half forward, but he's done it pretty well, because there's 3 Saints there and they had no trouble in wrapping that one up, and Mucky McDonald, who hasn't played a bad game today, has taken the mark. And I disagree, Ray. I reckon this chap here, Brendan Retzlav's best on ground for mine, so we'll see who's a better judge, because whoever wins the Pike medal wins the contest, you know.
I know that.
As Gerard Graham goes up and can't take the mark, and I'll give you the tip, I've got a bit of a start on you as the ball comes infield from Upson over the top to Greg Jones. Is he back in defence now by the look of it? Yes, and the ball is taken away there by Shepherd. Shepherd to Michael. The ball cannons off the head of a player there. It's spilled back in as we see the champ Spud Slater being coming off the ground. He looks a bit sick and sorry for himself, but it won't hurt a bit as the ball comes in towards Markwell now, and he's taken the mark on the wing for the Tigers. Left centre wing for the Tigers is Markwell, and Jeffrey Davidson comes back on the ground. That's a pretty good way to get your teammate hurt there as he handballs backward, and Upson is lucky enough to get away with that. He goes towards Darren Murray, who carves his way through the centre of the ground, kicks towards centre half forward. Up in front is the Saints defences. Jeffrey Davidson comes through, can't take the marks, picked up by Pios. He's got the numbers loose here if he wants to get it through to Ian Bennell. Has done, and Ian Bennell's taken the mark, and he would be, he's just outside the square and shouldn't be any problem from here to post the Tigers' 8th goal, and that'll make them 8-15. But the Saints have got 17-13, and that's worth a little bit more. As in comes Bennell, and he puts the ball on the boot. Oh, no, I don't think he has, Ray. Oh. No, those spectacles you've got are a little bit ancient, mate, because that went right through the middle.
Is he second or third? That's his second goal.
Okay, that's the second goal to Bennell, but he's been pretty well held by Neil McDonald today, who's picked him up for the bulk of the day. And the score now is 8-15. Plays 17-13.
Alfab Aluminium have been appointed the Southwest agent for Sydney Lace Aluminium Reproduction, adding that touch of class to your existing or new home with gate panels, outdoor furniture and other added features. See Alfab Aluminium, 108 King Road, Bunbury, phone 215195.
The match of the day is brought to you by Alfab Aluminium on Golden West Radio.
Bounce to the ball in the centre once again by umpire Nettleton. 8-15, 63 South Bunbury. Trail Collie, 17 goals 13. Jackson and Steele once again. Been a great contest. It's Jackson this time. Gets it down to Massara. Got the sun in his eyes, but Shepherd gathers now for the Saints. Up the centre half forward it goes. Across come the Tiger defence, but a player there in Murray gets it out into the Upson direction. The high wobbly kick from Upson. Underneath it was Hoddle. Puts one hand out. Can't gather it. Platts is in there. He can't do anything about it. Bennell comes back in. Slips the tackle of a couple of players. Then goes for the short pass into Markwell. He lays it off by hand to Hoddle. Hoddle fires towards the big sticks. Down goes out of bounds on the full, and the kick will be taken back into play. Jeffrey Davidson playing in defence. As we notice that who's limping? Gerard Graham, is
Benton Pike.
Benton Pike, and he doesn't want to know anything more about this. Going to run towards the boundary line.
Gee, Ray, I don't think I'd be running towards the boundary line if there's about a minute to go in the grand final.
Yeah. The mark has been taken there by Bruce Jackson, just backward of the half-back line for the Saints. Neil Jackson, his brother, on the wing. That's the way the kick goes. In the front position is Platts, and he's untroubled to take the mark. Well, the ball held up against the breeze on that occasion, so Danny Platts halfway between left half forward and left centre wing. On the burst is the player in Hares down there. He can't take it. It wasn't Hares, it was Jones. Mopped up in defence by David Hollins. He puts the high one straight across into the direction of Brendan Retzlaff. and Ian Carl's a long way behind him. He's going up and down in the one spot, the Sheriff, as it's Ian Massara loose once again, but they ignore that up into the... Oh, there's nearly paid it. Well, that's a great mark taken on the far side of the ground by Ricky Fraser for South Bunbury. He's been a pretty good player for the Tigers. Goes in short where it's Cale who once again takes the mark. He lays it off by hand to Pios. Pios up to half forward. Coming out is Ian Bennell. Thumped away in defence by Pike. Bennell goes back into gather. Lays it off by hand to Steele. He easily gets the hand pass through to Markwell. He can line up and shoot from 20 metres out. And he's popped another one for the Tigers off the boot of Derek Markwell. But it's, as I said before, it's all academic at the moment, as that's the fifth goal to the Tigers this quarter. They move to 9 goals 15 on that FAI Car Owners Mutual scoreboard, trailing Collie 17 goals 13.
Getting a bit more respectability into that score.
They'd need it, Des. Well, it's all over. The Collie virtually...
virtually what, Ray? What you trying to say? You think you're going to win?
They're keeping just keeping time out there at the moment. There's no urgency whatsoever in their play, as they know that they've got the 87 grand final well and truly sewn up. As I said before, long time between drinks for them, and they'll enjoy this immensely. As it's Steele taps the ball down. It's gutted by his opposite number in Jackson. Dumped away in defence there by Upson. Running through is Hetherington. He went without the football. In goes Darren Fraser for the Tigers as he works the ball out, as they can do something here. Here's the short distance pass further afield. The mark has been taken there by Sofield as he gives it to Pios. Pios back into the Hares direction. He goes by hand to Sofield. Up to centre half forward goes Sofield. To end the 1987 grand final in a pretty resounding victory to the Saints. 17 goals 13, Collie 115 have defeated South Bunbury. 9 goals 15.